Okay. Meeting of Diversity Committee is called to order. Are there any members of the public wishing to make a comment? Hearing none. Let's move to the approval of minutes. June 3rd minutes. And when last we had a meeting, any changes, corrections? Do I hear a motion to approve? Second. All in favor? Aye. Minutes are approved. Mike, any changes to the work plan?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I'm not
sorry.
Mike, but there were some minor changes to the to the work plan. The stylistic changes are that under recurring items, instead of saying MWDBE activities, we are now saying MWBE contract compliance activities. Under March 2013, so instead of saying overview of the MTA Department Diversity Civil Rights Department goals, it says overview of 2013 MTA Department Diversity and Civil Rights goals. One substantive change though. For November 2013, I added an item which is that we will present the 2014 Diversity Committee work plan in November. So that's the substantive change to the work plan.
Everybody on board with that? Then let us, before we get into the substance of our agenda, let me welcome on behalf of the committee our newest member, who is a new member of the board as well, representing Nassau County and Long Island. He'll give a very, very strong representation to this committee, and something that we've been looking forward to. So John, thanks so much for joining us. Next is outreach events and diversity programs.
Yes, good afternoon. To start, I just wanted to let everyone know that outreach has gone through a facelift per se, and we are now called Business and Diversity Initiatives, based on the activities that are taking place within this unit on behalf of MTA. And so with that, it's not up yet.
Hopefully that change in identity will find itself in our new meeting agenda next time.
So for July, August, and September, we've been extremely busy. It's not posted up yet, so what I will do is just read out what is on our booklets, which is the National Minority Business Council's 41st anniversary celebration. That was a celebration this year in honor of the MTA, who has received the MWBE Outstanding Award, which means it's an award that we have actually excelled in our program and have been recognized by the MWDBE community through the National Minority Business Council. And we've also attended the National Hispanic Business Group as a sponsorship. The annual Competitive Edge Conference took place in late July, and the MTA and its agency procurement staff took lead on several workshops, exhibits, and there was an attendance of over 300 firms at this event, and it always seems to be pretty successful because it is a conglomerate of city and state agencies that work all year in trying to put this conference together for the MWDBE community. We attended the annual conference of minority transportation officials. Not only did our department attend that, but also from the executive staff, and there were several presentations that were held at that conference. We continue to do our DBE certification workshops every month to increase our participants into the DBE program. In August, we held the Harlem Week. As always, we always celebrate Harlem Week. As everybody knows, it's Harlem Month. I think it's 2 months right about now. But we did participate at the Economic Development Day conference, along with the Harlem Day Business Expo. The Harlem Week Economic Development Day was a duo. It was the business portion of it, a luncheon where the MTA was highlighted with providing a beautiful poster that was mentioned at the MTA today, along with a pretty successful job fair that you'll hear about a little later. The Harlem Business Alliance Economic Summit is going to take place this month. We are currently planning a new firm orientation session, and this session is solely for firms who are looking to do business with the MTA, who are newly certified either through the MWBE or the DBE program. This is going to take place on Wednesday, September 26th, and all is invited to attend. It's a pretty successful orientation session, and all of our agency procurement staff are available to present to our new firms. Metro-North Railroad presents the MWDBE Opportunities event, and it's listed for September 2013 because we had it planned, but now since we have so much participation into this event, we're looking to move it back to November. This will be their first discretionary procurement event. Regional Alliance for Small Contractors, we continue to support our advocacy organizations. The MTA Small Business Mentoring Program has begun this month, and we are currently again doing the DBE certification workshop. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Leon Goodman, who handles the Harlem Week Economic Development Day and the Leadership Conference that is upcoming.
During the month of August, we participated in the Harlem Week, and in doing so, we held, as Z has said, a somewhat successful job fair. Based on the past history of the job fair, we tried a different approach this year, and a different outreach approach, rather. And so, therefore, in addition to the articles that were posted in the Daily News and the Amsterdam News, as well as the radio spots that the Greater Harlem Chamber of Commerce organized that were on the local radio stations, we reached out and used social media for the first time. And to our surprise, it worked a lot better than we had hoped. In fact, we were anticipating, the recruiters, we were anticipating maybe an additional 300 to 400 people above the normal 150 that would attend the job fair. And to our surprise, it was an estimated 6,000 people that showed up. And it garnered quite a bit of publicity. Of that 6,000 people, we were able to actually see 650 people during the job fair, all the recruiters from across the agency, which left us quite a number of people that were not able to be seen. However, the majority of the attendees that were there were able to complete a registration form, submit their resume, and they were also directed to the MTA employment site. So what did we do with those people that were directed to the site and the people that attended? Well, so far, as of September 5th, approximately 2,500 people have submitted applications to MTA.info asking for consideration for employment here at the MTA. And as of last Thursday, September 12th, we have sent out approximately 4,300 thank you letters. And the thank you letters say thank you for attending the job fair, and also giving them instructions as to how to access the MTA employment site. We will run another query within the next month just to see if that number has increased substantially. But we were particularly pleased with the feedback and the response of people in terms of people actually going online and applying for applications, particularly with the understanding that no one was promised a job, everyone was promised an opportunity to apply for a job. And I think that that's really important to understand. I personally went through the some 6,000 registration forms and applications, and I found that there were diverse attendees, and I think that's particularly important because you would think that a job fair that is situated in Harlem would primarily attract Harlem residents. Well, the attendees were from the 5 boroughs, including the 5 boroughs of New York City, including Staten Island, by the way, and as well as Long Island, Westchester, Connecticut, and New Jersey. And they had diverse background and experiences, including marketing, accounting, finance. I was particularly pleased, and I mentioned this just a few minutes ago to the folks in New York City Transit, that there were several people who are CDL-endorsed bus operators that were there that day. There were even a couple of heavy equipment repair persons and operators, including generator repairs. And of course, there were the typical administrative people and some entry-level kinds of jobs. And then 2 resumes of note that two people that I wanted to point out. The quality assurance electrical inspector from Kawasaki Rail Cars in Yonkers, who is our manufacturer of our rail cars, he actually came to the job fair and applied for a job with us. His resume is being disseminated amongst the agencies now. And we also, interestingly enough, we also had a TV film producer who is currently an adjunct professor at SUNY who applied for our director of media and TV production position at New York City Transit. So I just thought I would share that with you.
Next is certification activity.
Sean Moore is going to talk about the diversity programs.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes. We are going to be hosting an Hispanic American Heritage Month within, I think we're going to roll it between September and October. And that's HQ, Diversity Council, as well as Metro North.
Good afternoon. Okay, certification. The number of applications received second quarter of 2013 was a total of 34. You look at what we did in 2012, we received 43 applications, and in 2011, we received 34 also. However, the numbers are increasing because in July I received 10, August 10, and so far for September I've received 8. In terms of actual processing of the applications, in 2013, yes?
11 and 12 are entire year, and 13 is half the year?
No, all for the second quarter. It's a comparison across the board. For each. Okay. Also looking at the second quarter for the actual activity for certification applications, we certified 30 for 2013. We returned 6 and 4 withdrew their applications for a total of 40 processed during the second quarter. In 2012, you see, we certified 17. In 2011, we certified 20. So obviously, the number we're certifying is increasing. We did not have any denials in 2013. We had 2 in 2012 and 3 in 2011. Returns, we returned 6 applications in 2013. We returned 4 in 2012, and we returned 1 in 2011. And firms who actually withdrew their applications, 4 withdrew them in 2013, 2 in 2012, and 3 in 2011. When you look at the totals, we processed more applications in the second quarter of 2013 than we did in 2012 and 2011.
Freddie, are you still maintaining the same number of renewal
Oh, yes.
certifications?
Well, it's not even renewal anymore. It's annual submissions. The regulations
That's right.
change. Yes, we're doing that.
So you're doing quite a lot.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
It would be interesting for us to know how many of the annuals, you know, these are just the new certifications, but to really understand the workload,
Sure.
we need to see the whole thing.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay. Are we ready for EEO and Title VI update?
Yes, we are.
Will this include the information that was deferred from various agency meetings, committee meetings this morning?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
What was the question?
We deferred conversations about EEO updates from our agencies at earlier committee meetings. Will we take them up now?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that was the underutilization reports that we were going to postpone into November.
Oh, we're,
That's in the November report.
okay.
Okay. What I'm updating you on now is that currently we're going, sorry.
The individual agency statistics as well, or just the MTA wide?
MTA wide.
I believe I didn't mishear.
I don't know what happened this morning.
The agency statistics are here in this report.
Oh. That's what I'm trying to
Yes.
ascertained. Okay.
I believe what Sean was referring to was that in November, we will present from the agencies their efforts to improve
Underutilization.
Yes,
Okay.
that will be in November. This
This report will include the report.
includes statistics for headquarters as
Got
well
it.
as the agencies.
Got it.
What you may have heard this morning, excuse me,
That's correct.
Mr. Ferrer? What you may have heard this morning was Board Member Mulder asking about the double counting of females and minorities?
That was really one aspect.
Okay.
I've heard this from, we're going to have a more fulsome discussion at diversity. This be diversity.
I was not informed of that.
Okay.
So, I know. Did you want the report because the other agencies are here?
If there is even a moment of unreadiness, I'd rather not have anything that's half-baked. But I know our Chief Operating Officer is here and has taken note of,
Right, what we had agreed to do was to have the agency presidents present their reports.
We-
And then have a separate, because we want to hear from the agency presidents directly what their commitments were and their achievements towards those goals that they had set before. And give the other board members an opportunity to ask questions specific to how they intended to achieve those goals if they were not successful.
And I'm expecting that we will see the agency presidents next year when they present how they're going to attain their goals. We did have their numbers today, but they were not discussed with us. So I think we will see them
well,
in November.
We'll reschedule that. Yeah, with a clear understanding of who's going to be on first and who's on second and like that.
Thank you. I'm prepared to give my portion of the report, though. Currently, we are under review by FTA. We are starting our triennial review process, and specifically MTA headquarters, MTA bus, Metro North, and Long Island Railroad. And we are moving in a direction because we did have our Title VI system-wide service standard and policies approved back at June 5th meeting. And they are now in alignment based on service mode and per FTA regulations. Part of this process, we will also have our equal employment opportunity programs reviewed as well. Trying to make sure which slide am I on. In November, we will have MTA bus reviewed first, and then headquarters, Long Island Railroad, and Metro North will be reviewed in December. So we're going to the next slide. I also wanted to give you an update that we are working with consultants with respect to our PeopleSoft query, and we're trying to get our census data updated from the 2000 data to the 2010 data in order for us to address unutilization with respect to PeopleSoft programs in our EEO management reports. With respect to our new hires and addressing unutilization, from January to June, we have hired over 2,449 new employees. 20.6% represent new hires, which are females, and 70.2% new hires minorities. Out of that group, there's approximately 39.5% blacks and 17% Hispanics. And I just want to take this opportunity to acknowledge MTA headquarters, which has the highest number of females at 55.6%, and MTA bus that has the highest percentage of minorities at 86.5%. With respect to that, we still have some work to do. I noticed that with respect to females and in the minority category of Hispanics, areas with respect to administrative support, officials and administrators, and skilled craft, those are areas that we need to improve upon. With respect to females and with respect to Hispanics, we need to improve upon skilled craft, service maintenance, and administrative support. Our Title VI and our, sorry.
That's your fast question. So the current information that we're reading right now is based upon the 2000 census.
That's correct.
So with the retainment of an outside consultant, we're going to update this information to reflect the 2010 census.
That's correct.
And that should be finished by when?
I would hope to be the end of this year, but I'll let Naeem answer that question.
Currently, the contract is with the consultant, and we expect them to sign the contract and return to us within a day or so. So, and they have said that they will take about 8 weeks or about 2 months to complete their work.
So the assumption here is that with the exodus of ethnic minorities moving to the surrounding areas, that the data that we're looking at right now may be actually worse. Right? Right.
Based on the 2006, the 2010 is likely to show that we are not meeting target because we have greater force.
Right. Okay.
That's correct. And with respect to our EEO and Title VI complaints, this is also reporting out from January to June 2013. We have a total of 278 EEO complaints. Out of that, 462 separate allegations. 147 are external complaints and 131 are internal complaints. With respect to our external complaints, I would say about 19% represent race, color discrimination cases, and about 20% represent disability-related cases. With respect to our internal complaints, 21% represent sexual harassment cases, and 22% represent race/color-related complaints. With respect to our Title VI, we had a total of 43 complaints, and the most frequently cited is race at 80%. That's it.
You know, we have like 9 minutes, so can we?
Thank you. So we are on now,
Mentoring program, the small business.
well, okay, item 7.
Right. Since November, Small Business Mentoring Program commenced, we have 76 contracts that have been awarded totaling $43 million. Of those contracts that have been awarded, 49 of those contracts were awarded to New York State MWB certified firm, totaling $34.4 million. Of the 46 MWB firms, 12 of those firms are also DB certified, and currently we have 134 firms that are in the program, and we have another 40 that are pending qualification. With our loan program, we currently have 14 loans that have been approved, totaling 1.3. In addition, the program currently we have $150,000 per contract per loan when you do apply for the program. Okay. As it pertains to our federal program, we started the program in March of this year. We have awarded 3 projects totaling $4.1 million. We have 18 firms that have been pre-qualified and 5 firms that are currently in the pre-qualification stage. As it pertains to our loan program, you could apply for loans up to $900,000 per contract, and we also have the surety bond program that's being finalized. It's been finalized, working with Willis and Centaur, and participating firms are eligible for surety bonds assistance up to $3 million.
Thanks, George. Gwen?
Okay. I'm here to talk about the contract compliance. MTA overall DBE goal is established at 17% from October 2012 through June 2013. Next slide, please. Over $1.1 billion of federally funded contracts were awarded, with $150 million, 13%, being awarded to certified DBEs. During the same period, over $932 million was paid to prime contractors, with $104 million, or 11%, in payments to certified DBEs. Next slide, please. DBE awards from October 2012 to June 2013 have already surpassed last year totals, and that's the total for the year. For the last federal fiscal year, we were at 12%, and currently we are at 13% in DBE awards. Next slide, please. The percentage of payments made to DBEs during April 2013 to June 2013 are at 13%, and we have also surpassed the percentage of DBE payments made during the same period last year, which was at 12%. Next slide. MTA's overall MWBE goal is at 20%. And from April 2012 to June 2013, approximately $117 million was awarded in state-funded contracts, with approximately $42 million, or 35%, awarded to certified MWBEs. The percentage of contracts awarded was as a result of several state-funded contracts being projected to exceed their 20% MWBE goals. If you look at the bottom of the page, you will see a list of the contracts that, the 6 contracts that are projected to exceed the 20% MWBE goal. During the same period, approximately $342 million was paid to prime contractors, with $74 million, or 22%, paid to certified MWBEs. During the first quarter, MTA has exceeded its MWBE goals. Next slide, please. First quarter 2013-2014 for New York State fiscal year is the highest since fiscal year 2010 or 2011, with MWBE awards being at 35%, 20% MBE, and 15% WBE. Additionally, next slide, please. The first quarter payments were also at the highest percentage since, several years ago, from New York State fiscal year 2010-2011. For discretionary awards, MTA and its operating agencies total procurements during April to June 2013 were approximately $80 million, and out of that, out of the $80 million, let's go, $8.4 million were awarded to MWBE firms, or 11%. Of the total procurements, 5% are discretionary procurements. If you kind of look at that, the total of the two, the percentages, out of the total procurements between April and June, 11% are MWBEs and 5% is discretionary. So what we're looking at is almost half of the MWBE procurements are discretionary procurements.
Right, and which I'm going to circle back, you see zeros here with respect to MTA bus and with respect to MTA HQ, and I've started having conversations with the president of MTA bus and HQ, indicating that we need to do a more effective job of awarding goods and services to our pool of certified firms. With respect to legal fees, we are currently at 16% inclusion, and I think that, Vice Chairman, that we're now going to focus on the legal fees since the underwriter RFP has been concluded. And so I'm going to be working with Jim Henley to make sure that we go out with a second RFP that's going to ensure greater inclusion of our certified firms. We are currently at 16% right now. That's not going to get it.
And I presume we are, we're looking at not merely the general area of recruitment, but also very specifically where and how we reach out to
Yes.
firms, what the standard is for identifying these firms and for bringing them into the trying to bring them into the process?
Yes, we are. We're going to advertise in our Dario, the Amsterdam News, and other papers. We are also going to host an open house in conjunction with the Hispanic Bar Association, the Asian Bar Association, and the Black Bar Association. by bringing in firms who may not be certified and assisting them in getting certified, and to expanding the roles of law firms who are certified here at the MTA.
Let me also suggest then something that may not be that intuitive, and that is the law journal, because every lawyer reads it,
Got it.
of every shape, flavor, size, and persuasion.
Got it. It's done. Done.
Good.
With respect to underwriter fees, I have to commend Pat McCoy and Bob Ferran. In the most recent quarter, there was actually 25% inclusion of certified firms during our bond deals. And earlier in the day, I'm told that basically that the new RFP results was approved, and that a result has a record number of certified firms, both in the senior and in the co-senior.
And as you know, the important metric, apart from the number of firms, is the fees paid.
Right, exactly.
So let's look at comparing fees paid last year to fees paid to this new crop of people for the coming year, and then hopefully in a year we'll have some way to evaluate a metric to
Right.
evaluate this effort.
Got it. It's done. Last but not least, the asset fund managers, and I think that we need to circle back around to see if we can improve in this area. And I will be reaching out to Maggie Connor and others to see if we can have outreach events to attract a broader pool of asset fund managers here at the MTA as well. Gwen?
Between January to June 2013, DBE participation was at 16% in our capital program, which is slightly below the MTA's DBE goal of 17%. As you can see, MWBE participation during the same reporting period is at 30%, with MBE is at 19%, while WB participation is at 11%. MWBE participation continues to exceed MTA's 20% MWBE goal.
Is there anything further?
You wanted to talk briefly about the questions with respect to the signal contract that was being awarded from Transit?
By all means, address it.
Yes. So the goals were waived because they were not an available pool of firms.
Let's set the table first. Does everybody know what we're talking about? Procurement in transit, a recruiting firm for signal workers, is that about right?
Staffing.
A staffing contract. The waiver of the EO10 requirement was deeply distressing and jarring to some members of the board. And we had a number of conversations around that, and that's where Mike is coming in with what I think is a very good solution.
Yes. So the goals were waived because there were no certified firms in the marketplace in order to support the scope of the work, which was once again hiring individuals in order to work on our signal projects. And so as a result of that, we have been currently speaking with all of the three major players in the industry, Comstock, 5-Star, and E&J. We wanted to get their thoughts of what is an effective mentor program in the signal area going to be. We had our most recent meeting was back in August. We're going to be meeting with them this month. They're going to have thoughts on papers, and we are going to move forward with having a mentor program for certified firms to specialize in signal work. And so the question, the question has always been to waive goals. My response has been, what are we going to do in order to create a larger pool of firms so we won't have to waive goals? This is a strategy that we are going to use to build a more broader pool of certified firms when it comes to signal work.
Well, that's worked with other things, so I suspect it'll work with this. We also had a question that you may not know the answer to, which was, there was one firm that responded to the first request, and we wanted to know if that firm met the requirement or not.
It is my understanding that because of the one firm responding, that bid was not open because they wanted to attract some more competition. Okay, got you. And so one last item here. I've been speaking to all of the operating agencies about hiring a point person who is going to be the contact for all MBE issues. And Metro North has recently hired Christine Norman, who comes from the city of New York, who prior to working at Bovis, and she started earlier this month.